Yo, for keys, this is day 144 of me playing chess every day until I reach the rapid region 2500. So here we go. We have the game, we have the black pieces against quite a strong opponent, 2136. Let's play the Caro-Kann defense, d4 and d5, the main line. What will he do? He takes. Okay, this is quite common, by the way, probably one of the main lines, or to push with e5, but bishop b5 is already quite inaccurate actually, and black is simply okay now. Um, yes, now I take with the queen, I believe. Probably taking with the knight was also okay. But now that my knight has the square on c6, why would I put the knight on d7? So probably we need to keep on developing. 95, I probably just take. We can just keep on developing with e6, bishop d6 maybe. Um, I was slightly worried about bishop g5 and e6, but then even takes, and I have rook g8. I have all the counterplay in the world. I wanna trade the bishops. He doesn't go for it. He goes for knight to e5, which I think is slightly weird because now I go on this diagonal and you will never be free of this slightly annoying pin here actually. Takes okay, but then I take on f4, I believe. And I'm just much better. I take on h2 next. Um, yes, now probably I castle. And maybe 95? Excuse me, 94. 92 knight f3 has to be played at some point. Queen f3. Well, this is slightly surprising. Queen g3 is an idea, but then even knight h5 just okay. If you wanna go, if he wants to go for that. Also, takes here might be interesting because I no, but then queen g3 is a threat. So I think I will play a6 b5 now. Just go for my casual ideas in the Caro-Kann. Um, queen g3 as I mentioned, knight h5. There's just a6. I'm trying to bait him into queen g3, and then knight h5 would be very strong. Now b5 might be slightly stupid, but yes. Because if takes, then I take, and I'm threatening the knight here as well. So you still cannot take here. And I might take here at some point. Um, of course not yet, not yet. Rook e2, okay. The pressure is on. 94 might be something I will look, but not now. Simply 93 then. But b4 definitely seems like a very reasonable idea here. And then takes and takes. Or I can get the knight to c4, which is probably one of my favorite ideas in all of chess. B3 rook c8. I don't think I'm missing something. I will simply get to c4, and then my position I think will be quite amazing. Um, if b3, then I go back to b6, and the c3 pawn is very weak. If you take me, I take you with the b pawn, of course. Then b2 is very weak. You need to create something on the queen side, but on the king side, excuse me. But if my knight is still on f6 and there is no queen g3 because of knight h5, well, then I think my position is pretty great. So queen h3 actually hangs a piece because of f6 later on. Yes, b3 I go to b6, I believe. Now c3 is very weak. You cannot really push it. I mean, I guess you could do that, but you're still kind of pinned. So maybe even knight takes, and pawn takes. Um, okay, bishop g5. That's an interesting approach. Um, feels like bishop e7. It's okay. Queen g3, knight h5, and then I take and go back to f6. And um, yes, I feel like this is okay. Takes, of course, takes. Yes, bishop e7, of course, was the only move because he was threatening to win a pawn. Queen g3, knight h5, queen h4, I take. He takes knight back to f6, I think. That looks pretty good. There are some rook leaves, but I mean, the c3 is weak. So if I don't get mated here, I think I'm okay. Queen g3 is an interesting move, but I think simply knight f6 back. He takes what? And knight g4, but pawn takes? Do you wanna lose? What are you doing? Knight g4, of course. Yes, okay, that's logical. I can go for queen e7. Um, I can go for knight e7, by the way, which looks quite strong. Although then I allow c4. No, I don't. After takes c4 is possible, so maybe I shouldn't have done that. But I still think it comes with quite a bit of unpleasant decisions. At least I get the knight to d5, and this is an isolated pawn in a pretty inactive position, so that means that d4 is very weak. Takes, of course, I take. That was the idea of knight d7, just defending the bishop, and bishop also guards by king, so, also pressures the diagonal, so yes, rook e3 trying to defend against this pawn. Makes some sense, but now I go in with rook to c8, queen a5, definitely a threat if you move the queen somewhere. Also, there is no attack. There is basically no attack. If yes, now I take. Maybe there is an attack, but I'm not seeing it. Queen g3 I take, queen g4 I take, queen h5 I take. Excuse me, does he see that? Trading the queens is. I want to trade the queens. What are you doing, man? c4. Yes, this is just perfect position for me. I will push this game like for 100 moves if necessary. The c3 pawn is very weak. I bring my king somewhere h6 definitely so that I have a luft. Knight goes back in maybe to b6. Okay, I guess. But now you're very passive. So how can I activate my knight somehow? Maybe getting it to d6, by the way. It feels like it has some control over the important squares. Yes, I like 98, 96 actually. Just controlling the important for square. If he cannot push the pawn, and also getting the knight to f5, then seems yes, okay, g4. Now he's taking away the square, but h5 at some moment will be quite strong. Um, b4, by the way, seems also strong. I want to bring my king, but how? I want to also play f6, but that's not quite possible yet. Okay, so we need to win the game. How will we do it? Bring the king to e7, create a luft. Yes, h6, so that I stop some ideas. G6, g5. Yes, so this is his idea. Yes, I knew that. I need to open up the position. This is a perfect plan. I think a5. Maybe even b4, by the way. Because I have the c file, so yes, actually b4 might be better than a4 if it's my move right now. Not because I get to c2, yes, that's quite important, but also because this pawn will be so weak and I get the knight to b5, maybe to c3, I win the game there. Yes, so he tries to stop that. I don't think actually it stops anything. Takes then a4. Then b3 is so weak I get maybe the knight to a5. Is he threatening something? Not really. So I can improve my position. Um Knight b7. And then I get here. But I like b4 with my knight on d6, so I will just go for it. Maybe it's slightly wrong, but I don't really. Oh, what? This is a mistake. No, no, no. You should have taken and played for a4. No, this is bad. What? But I thought this is just completely lost. Wait, am I evaluating this endgame completely wrongly or what? You want to trade the rooks? I'm okay with that. What am I missing? The boat. Am I think I'm winning the pawn now. What? But I thought this is just lost. Wait, maybe he has some ideas like this, but doesn't work at all. I go him simply here and then here. Yeah, this should be winnable. I have 5 minutes left. I'm playing quite quickly this game, which is very nice. Rook b1, I can even like. Yes, I have to take. That's probably for sure. But you probably need to keep this pawn alive. Otherwise, if I pick up this pawn, then this pawn is still very weak. So is b3. I mean b4, b5 in next move. But this is still a weak pawn if I can get something to block it. No, 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 no. Mm-mm. This is simply bad. Wait. No, this is just lost. I mean, now I'm threatening this. No, this is resignable. This is a lost king and pawn endgame. Do I even need to calculate this? No, this has to be winning. I don't care. This has to be winning. This has to be winning completely. Yes, but how will you move? I can play g5, but then he undoubles. Um, I go to this one maybe. Everything loses. I'm just winning. I think this is very hard not to win. Anywhere no. So it's a. I have too much tempi. I mean, this is still probably maybe king b6 there was the best option, but I mean I'm not going anywhere. d6 is probably the perfect square for me, and then I can play f6 e5. If your king moves to b6, then my yes, but this is just lost now. I play f6 and d5. You're wait. I mean this is just lost. f5 e5. I mean yes, I'm half a pawn in a king and pawn endgame. This is reasonable. I mean this is just I mean winning completely. And these two pawns are double. Come on, you cannot go for that. f5 has, I mean, everything loses. So f5 kind of makes some sense, but I mean, GG. It was a good game. This is like why Caro-Kann is overpowered until like you are FIDE master, I believe. Um, I have great results with the Caro-Kann. Even in OTB classical chess, I only lost like 2 games in the Caro-Kann, which is quite insane, by the way. Um, I can push. I can just go forward as well, and then I push. So yes, Caro-Kann is definitely quite overpowered. I think it's just so positional. People don't know how to play against it. I mean, they do, but the exchange Caro, if you don't get mated, you're just creating so much pain to suffer in the end game. So that's um yes, I think I can play it right. Um yes, and king g4, and I pick up all the pawns. 2 pawns on the board is simply a easy win. Okay, you go f6. I can simply take this as well. Um, king here I take, and I just promote one of the pawns. This is probably the easier pawn to promote because the carpet has been rolled out. Um, if he goes here, I can go to g2. Now that he cannot go anywhere, I just push the pawn and make a win. And this is just a great game, I think. My opponent resigns, of course, because I will simply make a queen and I won 8 rating points. Let's analyze the game now. So this is the game review of the game I just played. I played pretty okay with 92% accuracy, 91.5 if we are exact. My opponent played with 83, not bad either, but yes. I mean, I just got him completely outplayed. So e4, c6, d4 and d5, the Caro-Kann, e takes, c takes, and he played bishop b5. This is already quite a bad of a move because I can play bishop d7, and after a trade, I simply take with the queen. Wait, taking with the knight is better. I don't think I can fully agree with that. My knight belongs on c6. I don't care if what engine says. Queen takes is, I think, pretty okay. c3, knight c6. Yes, the knight has to go to c6, knight f6, e6, and bishop b6. And here I want to trade as much material down on the board because have I will simply create a weaknesses and will have a much better endgame. Um, approximately. I mean, my endgame will be always nice if you play this Caro-Kann pawn structure. This is known as the Carols, but I will just push with b4, and after takes the c3 pawn will be forever weak. So this is quite a good idea. He didn't take, he played knight e5, now queen c7, of course. And I'm simply threatening to win a pawn. Now I thought he will play rook e1, he did castles, and he played this weird queen f3. I didn't really understand the full idea of it. I I thought knight e4 was good, but I was slightly worried about maybe queen g4 actually. Oh, but yes, f5, and I just win a pawn here. So maybe yes, knight e4, was this just winning a pawn? Oh, knight d3 back and you defend the bishop. So this was the idea. And I can still take. And if queen takes, then I'm very happy with this endgame. As I mentioned, just b5. This pawn will be weak. Yeah, this is fine. I missed that. I played a6, slowly trying to play for b5. Probably b5 was better than a6 right away. Because, I mean, do I need to prepare with a6? Definitely not. So this was a stupid move. And also, after a6, he cannot play queen g3 because I simply go knight h5. Um, and I take and play f6 and I win the piece here. So I played a6. Knight e2, I played b5. Rook e2, knight a5 is a mistake. What? Okay, b4 was the third best move. I I didn't even think about taking here because I thought bishop f4. Okay, I can't even take. Let's say takes and takes. What about here takes and then I take with the bishop, yes. And there is no rook c1 quickly. And this is just a bad pawn and I win. So knight a5. Maybe I don't win that position, but it's better for black, definitely. Knight a5. Let's see. He played rook e1, and I played knight c4, of course. He played b3, and that's the whole idea. I can simply get back to b6. What the hell? Apparently taking was better. Okay, I can understand that, but you very rarely take on d2. I don't think I had a game where I played knight c4 and then I took the knight on d2. That's okay, but that has to be considered, of course. Now c3 is just weak, and there is one a less attacking piece that might attack my king at some point. So that's, I guess, yes, logical. So knight b6 is a mistake. I agree with that, yes. But I didn't even consider taking the knight. So, I mean, don't blame me. Bishop g5, bishop e7. The next was, yes, very unlogical. Why is g takes a big mistake? Oh, yes, okay. A knight f7. Um, Logical. Knight g4 and now knight d7. And I'm very proud of this move. Usually I would probably play excuse me, bishop e7. But now this trade is very okay for me because this e3 pawn is weak. There is no attack going on. And I will just push in the kind of endgame already. Maybe if few pieces get off the board, it will be actually an endgame, but okay. Rook e3. Trying to solidify the c3 pawn. Rook a8, pressuring the c3 pawn. Knight takes was, I think, slightly weird, but okay. Knight takes, of course. And now queen g3. And now I was very happy when I saw this move. I didn't even consider anything else than taking the queen. Apparently, queen a5 was also okay, pressuring the pawns. Why would I allow that? I thought my endgame chances were extremely high. Just doubling up, pressuring the pawn, knight b1, and after knight b1, I was sure I will win the game. Ooh, there is a very nice positional idea in this. Oh, whoa. I should. In a classical game, I would probably find it, but this is very hard to play in a rapid game. One move and one move only wins easily. I played the second best move, and it's only -1 now. The best move in the position is quite hard to play. I mean, it's easy when you know what my idea was with knight to knight to e8, then to get the knight to f5. So what do? You create luft and you prevent the idea of g4 taking the advantage of f5. While you play h5, stopping g4, giving my king a luft and preparing knight to f5. Great move. by the way, I missed it. I played knight e8, second best move. And now g4. And now if I play h5, yes, I mean, simply takes. And you play g4 yourself once again, and it's equal back. So, I played knight d6, of course, king f2, and now h6. I was trying to give myself a luft. It's still much better for black, but not as good. g3, a5, a3, and I played b4, which was the best move. I thought about maybe playing knight b7, but if you just do nothing, I play now b4. Because I thought his idea was to push, but now I get the knight to a5, so that was my idea. But apparently after b4, double taking is the best white has. I thought he might take like this first and then play for a4. But apparently this is already completely lost. You have two weaknesses, and yes, this is simple principle of two weaknesses. When you have two weaknesses on the board, you will lose. I mean, not as easy, but usually. So before, I mean, now you have three weaknesses. You are up a pawn, but I will take them all. So rook b7. I will just win the pawn. Rook c3 I thought was slightly weird. I can just take and take. Now I am forking the two of the pawn, so you need to decide which one you will protect. I thought he will play rook to b1. And after takes, he will push with b4. I thought simply rook c4 now. If you just move the knight, I just go knight b5, and this I thought was winning, but he can defend the knight with rook b3, so I didn't really think this was that easy to win. But if you push, yes, I might even block with the knight. I will just win the pawn. My king is also close enough, like king e7, then knight b7, probably rook c8 even. And then I will slowly pick up the pawn like this. Okay, he played king e3, and now I can simply take here, and I'm just winning because I play knight b5 and rook c1, and I can just take. Okay, that is one more retail, yes, okay. The better move was actually to play king f8 here. Why? Well, he is pinned, and if he wants to get out of the pin, excuse me, like this, then this is just a better version because I get to d6 first. And you will see, I mean, it's still completely winning. But yes, I mean, now I cannot get to d6, so that would be slightly easier to win, but still. I just maneuvered, king is on d6, and I'm up a pawn in a king and pawn endgame. I created the two passers, and this is just simply winning. I played pawn to e2 here. Of course, you have to take, and then I take the both pawns, and it's just over. f6, I just take. And here, the quickest win is to play king to g2. You stop the idea of king to f1, because like this. Oh, yes, I don't need to play king to g2, excuse me. You are still too slow, but okay. King g2 is simply easy win, and then h3, h2, h1 equals queen, and my opponent simply resigned here. I think it was a pretty okay game. I won 8 rating points, and I'm very proud of this game. It was pretty good. I mean, it just shows the power of the Caro-Kann defense. So, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. I will be reading and answering all of your comments. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. It would really help me out. And see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.